This is Andy Parole for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm joined by Hosea Burton. Hosea, how are you doing?
Pretty good, thank you. Pretty good.
That's good to hear. Obviously, I've just caught you after the end of a sparring session there, getting ready for December. How did you feel you was in the ring?
Pretty good. I didn't expect to be sparring today, but I came, done my thing, done good 6 rounds. Felt okay.
Joe Gallagher pulling the fast one on you this morning. Obviously getting ready for that Golden Contracts tournament. You've just said that it's December when the light heavyweights start. How are you feeling with regards to preparations for it? 4 months away is a long time.
I've not boxed in 2 months. Then not going to be able to box for another 4 months. I think it's terrible. I should have at least a fight, at least one fight from now to then. I think everyone in the competition should have a fight from before then, because it's going to be ring rust, isn't it? Not boxing for 6 months, 5.5, 6 months, a long time out the ring. It's not ideal for any competition to go into. You wouldn't race a racehorse in Cheltenham if it's never had a run out before. You've got to have races before you're ready for the big one. Now, this competition, you should have a couple of fights before you enter the competition.
So obviously you've just said that there. Are you going to be looking to get out, or is there also that risk that if an injury occurs, and obviously with the luck that you've had over the past couple of years, I'm sure that's going to play in your mind if you get out before the tournament starts and you manage to pick up an injury for whatever reason, more bad luck on yourself. Is it kind of something that you are thinking about, or?
Listen, it's the risk you got to take. You could drive home, you could get it in a car on the way home. I could do with a fight before this competition. I'm willing to take that risk. I've had 25 fights now. I've not really been punched all that often in them 25. So, one more bit of a fight with whoever isn't really going to do much damage to me.
Now on the tournament itself, obviously the opponent isn't named until the actual fight week. How do you feel you're going to adjust and adapt to that?
We've all done it all our life. Whoever's been an amateur boxer usually doesn't know who they're fighting until the night of the fight or the week before. Or it doesn't bother me. You know who's in the competition. All right then, Ward, Conroy, Adjusef, the German lad, me. There's 5. I don't know who the other 3 is just yet because they haven't been announced for some reason. But I'm confident of beating all of them who I've just mentioned with a week's notice anyway. So that's good. That's good enough for me.
Out of those guys, who do you feel is your toughest test?
Out of those, Bob Adjusef. The reason being, he's the most awkward. The other 3 is quite straightforward. Bob Adjusef's a tough, awkward, durable boxer. Which, listen, I'm a tough, awkward, durable boxer, but I'm a better boxer than Bob. So you ask me the question, Bob's the best out of them, but I'm the best in the comp so far.
How much pressure do you feel on yourself? Obviously, since the Buglioni fight, the fights just haven't fallen for yourself with regards to opportunities. And now this comes along with the opportunity to win such a huge contract if you were victorious. Do you feel that added pressure that you have to succeed because you never know what could happen after it, whether it be a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't think there's any real pressure on me because, look, people's more or less forgot about me. I've been pushed out that far. If I lose the competition, people would have said, oh, I didn't even know he was still boxing because he's been that inactive. But if I win the competition, it's a major step, Everybody will know about me again. So pressure to go in and win it, well, there's pressure on every fight. Everyone wants to win their fight. So there's no added pressure. It's a competition that I'm more than capable of winning. It'll be a good 10-round fight each one. So I don't feel like there's any added pressure. It's just if you win the competition, you go in places. If you lose the competition, you just want to knock it on the head and say, I've had enough. I'll go to work.
Do you feel that this is the opportunity, though, that you have been craving since Buglioni, and this is the one to get your name back out there, which is why you need to be successful in it?
Yeah, obviously. Listen, if since that Buglioni fight, that was one of the fights of the year. That fight should have been made again. If that fight wasn't made again, I should have been on another big show, on another big fight against somebody who was good. It never got made. So this is my breakout fight again, even though I should have been there 3 years ago, like I was 3 years ago. This is my time to shine, and if I can, I can. If I can't, I can't.
Now, just to pull away from yourself, sticking with light heavies though, your best mate Anthony Yarde was unsuccessful in his first world title challenge against Sergey Kovalev in Russia last 2 Saturdays ago now. What was your thoughts on the fight?
It was a good fight. We done an interview a few weeks ago about the fight, and everything I said came true. It was correct what I was saying. Anthony Yarde needed a few meaningful fights before that fight. Kovalev is not the same Kovalev as he used to be, because Kovalev would have won that fight very comfortable. Now, people saying it was such a close, hard fight. Kovalev won nearly every round. I think he only lost one round. Okay, he nearly got stopped in that round. But Kovalev was not the man that we once knew. Anthony Yarde never showed himself up. He done pretty well. He's actually a better boxer than most people gave him credit for, because a lot of people just thought he was a complete pretender. But on boxing skill, he got outboxed by an old Kovalev. Now, that old Kovalev could still beat a fair few people, as it shows, but Yarde never showed himself up. He done well, but he done as expected. You know, he fought an old Kovalev, and he got knocked out.
Did he do any better than what you yourself thought he would have done?
Well, I sort of think it all depended on the Kovalev, right? He got outboxed all the way through. Was it round 9 he had a good round? Was it the 8th? Okay, he had a good round 8. Other than that, he just got peppered with the jab all night. So, no, he never done any better than I actually thought he was going to do. Okay, if the real Kovalev came out, the real Kovalev could have blew him out in a round or two. But he's an old Kovalev, he's an old man Kovalev. Canelo will bash Kovalev up, really give him an hiding, only because the age.
Now, after the fight, Tunde Ajayi, Anthony's trainer, came with some criticism from some quarters and over social media. What did you make of that? Do you think it was fair, or do you think it was unjust?
He needed a bit of stick, because listen, when you come back to the corner, you need some sound advice. You don't need lions getting shouted at you, right? When you come back to the corner, you need a nice calm corner saying, right, this is what's happening. Take a couple of deep breaths, have a drink. Right, listen to me now. You're taking too many jabs. Feint, draw the jab out, slip back, throw the right hand. So if Yarde got something like that told to him, like every time you're going forward, you get nailed with a jab, draw the jab out, slip back, throw the right hand, it might have worked. Instead of just getting screamed at, say, shouting lions in the camp, you know, come on. You need a bit of advice. You don't just need psyched up all the time, unless you've got a bottle problem. You know, unless you're a bit of a bottle job and you need to be that pump before you can do anything. I'm not sure.
How do you feel that you would have got on that Saturday night with Sergey Kovalev if he was in the ring?
Well, I know I wouldn't have got outboxed. I could outbox him. And I feel as if you stay in that fight for 6 rounds, 5 or 6 rounds, you've got a very good chance of winning. I think I would have beat Kovalev that night, because he couldn't have outboxed me. Kovalev won that fight basically with the jab. The knockout punch was a jab. So you eliminate that jab, you know, beat him with the jab, outbox him. He's on old man legs, Kovalev. So I really personally think I'd beat him.
I just wanted to get your thoughts as well on the light heavyweight unification bout between Artur Beterbiev and Alexander Gvozdyk. Artur Beterbiev fought Callum Johnson, one of your campmates, previously. What are your thoughts on that unification bout?
Both very, very good men. It will be a very good fight. Gvozdyk is that how you say it?
Gvozdyk.
Voz what?
Alexander Gvozdyk.
Gvozdyk. Right then. So he can fight, right? But the both of them can fight. They're both brilliant boxers, brilliant punchers. It's going to be a really good fight. I personally think Gvozdyk is going to win.
And also this past weekend, we saw Loma-Campbell face Vasyl Lomachenko. Vasyl Lomachenko coming away with a unanimous decision victory. What was your thoughts on that fight?
Loma-Campbell was absolutely brilliant. 3-1 just to go the distance. No one expected him to go the distance. He hurt Lomachenko a few times in that fight. Okay, Lomachenko is a freak of a man. He is possibly the best man ever to put a pair of boxing gloves on. Just when you're up against such a task like that, to go in there and not crumble under pressure was an achievement on its own. So Loma-Campbell, I think, done really, really good. He exposed, I say exposed, he never exposed him at all, but he landed a few good shots and he hurt Lomachenko a few times in that fight. I personally think Lomachenko cannot move up another weight. If he does, he's not being fair to himself because he's too small of a man to move up again. He needs to go back down the weights. Has that been done? Someone win all the belts from being light to heavy and then go back down light again. That could be a good achievement to do. Because the only way Lomachenko will get beat is if he outsizes himself, if he beats himself on matching too big of men.
Also on that card, we saw Charlie Edwards retain his WBC world title against Julio Cesar Martinez. Obviously, Charlie seemed to have lost in the third round. He was stopped, and then Mauricio Solomon jumped into the ring and said that it was a low blow, no contest, immediate rematch. What was your thoughts on the entire situation and the fight itself?
Yeah, well, it wasn't a low blow. What it was is Charlie got hurt. Charlie got buzzed a couple of times. He got buzzed to the head and he got hurt to the body. When Charlie went down, he touched down to get his count, and then he got hit in the ribs when he was down. It wasn't a low blow. It was just an illegal punch. I actually think Charlie was beat. The other little fella didn't need to come and do that. Charlie was struggling. He even said that after the fight he was really struggling to make his weight. He's not sure that he wants the rematch. So I think Charlie was struggling with the weight really bad. That's why he couldn't absorb, couldn't take the punishment that he was getting give to him. Because that little fella, he was a little animal, wasn't he? So I think there's rights and wrongs. I think that fight, the winner would have been the Mexican, but he shouldn't have done what he done and hit the lad on the floor.
And Hughie Fury was unsuccessful in his first bout on the Matchroom card against Alexander Povetkin. What was your thoughts on that one?
It's a funny one because Hughie's a talented boxer. Povetkin is a talented boxer. Some people say it was a boring fight. Some people say it was an exciting fight. It was one of them fights I was drawn to. I couldn't take my eyes off of it because you just didn't really know what was going to happen. I thought the right man won. Hughie never showed himself up at all. He boxed well, but I just think he needs to be a little bit more aggressive at times. You know, to beat these good men, you've got to be dominant at times. And he's always negative. He's always jab, move, jab, move. You know, sometimes go forward, throw a few shots, back off. You know, he's too negative all the time, but who am I to talk?
Now, I should have probably started with Josh Buatsi earlier on in the conversation, as he's a light heavyweight as well, but he was successful against Ryan Ford. Some people are saying over social media that he was a low blow again in his fight. What was your thoughts on that one?
The right man won the fight. Okay, the finishing shot was possibly low, but it's one of them things. He never meant to hit him low. He was going down, and Buatsi threw the body shot as well. It's just one of them. He never meant to do it. So the other little Mexican meant to hit him on the floor when he was touched down. Meant to do it. So Buatsi never meant to hit him low. So I think that was a fair decision. Buatsi was going to win that fight all night anyway. Same way as the little Mexican was going to win that fight all night. So the right thing happened.
And just to move away from that one, on the same night, the card for October 26th was announced. The World Boxing Super Series will take place at the O2 Arena between Josh Taylor and Regis Prograis in their final. But it's more so the undercard which I want to speak to you about. Announced Joseph Parker versus Derek Chisora. A very good matchup there. What are your thoughts on that one?
I like Joseph Parker. You know, I met him when I was over in LA with Vegas with Tyson. He's a real nice lad. You know, he's one of them people that you enjoy his company when he's around you all the time. You know, he could quite easily be one of the lads. You know, he's not like some kind of celebrity that wants nothing to do with you. He's a nice lad. So I think he's a good boxer, Parker. It's a good matchup because of similar height, similar stamp of people. I think Parker outboxes him and wins comfortable.
And finally, one which interested me was Lee Selby versus Ricky Burns as well on that undercard. Ricky Burns obviously previously fighting up at super lightweight, dropping down to lightweight to face Lee Selby now. Lee Selby jumped up 2 weights after he's lost to Josh Warrington. What are your thoughts there with regards to that fight and obviously the moves between the weights between both fighters?
Ricky Burns is one of my favourite all-time British boxers. To do what he's done at a small weight and to be world champion, was it 3 times, 3-weight world champion? I think he is the best Scotchman ever to come out of Scotland. He's at the end of the road. He's on his way out, isn't he? I know he doesn't like to say it, and I wouldn't like me saying that about him, but his best years was behind him, even though he's still good now. Lee Selby, it's not Andrew, it's Lee Selby. Very good boxer, and I really rate him as well. But see, I thought Selby was going to beat Warrington, but I just feel as he starved himself too much and he became weak. That fight's going to be a really good fight between Burns and Selby. It's going to be a really good fight, and a tough one to call.
Well, Hosea Burton, I appreciate your time. I've kept you for long enough. Final words with yourself, anything you'd like to leave on?
No, just people get onto MTK and tell them to get me out and get me some fights.
Hosea Burton, thanks for speaking to myself and Boxing Social.
Thank you.